we're in Kentish Town. We've got this, there's a little shop here behind us. Yeah, so this is, this gaff is, well, you can see where it is. It's, it's right in the middle of Kentish Town. It's an Amnesty International place. It's, I think they've just taken on the lease for it and they've, it's all been kitted inside. It's a nice gaff. You know what I want is to pay someone to tell me how you program these fucking things. Right, anyway. Right, I've got a little list here that they've given me of things that, so basically they've, from my understanding, I haven't spoken to them a huge amount about this, but my understanding is that they bought it in this condition and they've had shop fitters in or whatever, and they've just sort of fitted it loosely. They've given it the basic lights and sockets and that's it. And then whoever takes the shop on then does their own alterations. But anyway, they give me a little list. So, yeah, we've got, right, apparently there's a counter here. Apparently there's a counter here and I've got to put another 3 double sockets there for like underneath the counter or some stuff. 2 shop heat, they did want those air conditioning units moved. There's one over there and there's one behind you there, but they're not moving those now. I think it was too expensive, I don't know. Feature lighting. Okay, so there's 3 pendants, 1, 2, and then one right behind you there. That pendant has got to move into there. That pendant over there has got to move here. That downlight has got to come out. We've got to put Wagos on that, put a Wago box on it, and then that pendant's moving over that hole, and then it's still being switched. Yeah, basically, that's just got to move over there, basically. In the kitchen, or kitchenette, whatever you want to call it, double socket. There's a double socket under the sink, but we've got to put another double socket there, and 2 double sockets, one here, and one there. So I think they're having like a sort of desk thing here. So 2 sockets there. Socket under there for the fridge, but we've got to put a fuse spur up above, I think, or something, or put it in the cupboard under there, I think. I don't know, we'll work it out when we get to it. Right behind you, a little heater going up there. I thought we'd get this all done tonight. It's just gone 6:30, but this isn't going to happen now. There's actually more here. There's more here than I thought. Got to put a fuse spur there, and there's a little heater of some description going up there. And then in here, for reasons which I don't really understand why, they want like a nurse call alarm thing. So I was going to fit just a simple wireless one, but then I just ended up buying one of these. I'm not really sure of the need because it's such a small space and there's only 1 toilet, so it's, I don't know. But my understanding of these is that, like, I don't know, if Betty Crocker or something, I don't know, if she's on the bog or something and I don't know, if she gets into a bit of trouble or something, I don't know. She basically just pulls this cord and someone comes to her rescue and wipes her out. I don't know why I don't really understand, but anyway, we've got to fit that. So, and the funny thing is, on these, you can reset them remotely. So you have this, you have one panel outside here somewhere out in the main area, but you can reset it without going in there to reset it, which doesn't really make sense, because if Betty Crocker's in there and she's having a bit of trouble, I mean, Matey Boy's just like, oh, fuck off, just silence it and you can wipe your own ass. Do you know what I mean? I can't really see the point of it. But anyway, they want it, so I'll fit it in. That's basically about it. So give us 5, let's get set up and I'll touch base in a sec. I was actually going to go the whole hog and fit the white LSOH cable here, and then we pulled these out, and it's all just normal twins. So not a great deal of point in me fitting the white stuff. All right, so that can stay there for a second. So that is this one here. We've managed to pull over. We had to pull that down like out and go via that for some reason. There's fairings in the way up above, but that will stay there. That pendant over there has been moved, so that's been moved over there. Those sockets, I can't do anything with those for a second because I can't make any noise. I was going to fit those in now, but there's some dab in the way and I just can't make any noise tonight because it's like nearly 9 o'clock now. So they're going to have to wait till tomorrow. That was the pendant that was there. That's now, we pulled it this far, but I've got to drill through. I'm going to have to bring it out here, drill through this wall, and I can't do that tonight because I can't make any noise. So, and that nurse call system, I ain't fucking doing battle with that tonight. I can wait till tomorrow. It's 9 o'clock and there's a kebab house out there with my name on it. Oh, let's put down and piss off.
Day 2.
That was the other thing. While we were here, the fuse board, because it's just been refitted, and the branded board, well, this is the setup that's here, so I'm not entirely sure. What's this? TNC? But it's QDIS or QDIS, whatever it's called. Seems like a nice enough panel, but I don't know if that is part of the. I think that is part of the panel. Yeah, that is. It's the holes have been cut into the book. But when you open it, you've got this nice little light that comes on. I thought that was quite a neat little feature. I don't know where you get QDIS. I've never actually heard of them, but it's a cool little board. I like it. It's a nice little feature. Yeah. All right. Yeah, you got the shit job under the sink. Good. Fucking work, you bastard. No niceties anymore. There were a couple of people who were saying that these, because they saw me using it in a previous video, these MK fuse spurs, and they were saying that sort of MK are living off. In fact, the actual wording was somebody said they're living off past glories. Yeah, they were saying that basically the quality of them seems to have gone down. Well, I don't know. I mean, if we just ignore the fact they're probably one of the most successful electrical product manufacturers, I don't know, on the planet, if we just ignore that, the actual spurs themselves, I think they're quite good. You've seen me fit some of the lap and the BG ones and that sort of stuff, and the terminals are spread all over, and there's you don't get a nice neat configuration like this where the terminals are just all in a line. So I quite like them. I think they're nice. I think they feel all right, but again, I guess it's just down to personal preference, but yeah. Right, next job. We have one downflow heater, which has got to go somewhere up here. I think it's just for this room, just to keep them warm in the winter, because they've got those two heaters out there, the aircon units, because they've got heat pumps built into them. But in here, they haven't got anything, so I think they just want one of these. I think I'll just put it up in that corner up there. And they've just got a little fuse spur here and a little doof on it, just switch it on whenever they want it. We're just in the process of fitting this, this is the last job here now, this nurse call, this sort of alarm thing. And we're putting these, this will just go on the outside here. We wanted to fit it on this wall here, but we can't because there's going to be bookshelves going here. And on the basis this here is the smallest wall, that's where it's going to go. So we're just plotting out where to fit all this. However, are you ready for this? What did you call it? A spaghetti monster. Spaghetti monster. Well, the wiring here actually we thought was pretty good because it ain't just been done. It's literally just been finished a couple of months back. Ta-da! Fucking state of that. It was really good up to that point. I'm still not sure. We've got some LSOH cable. You've got some I don't know. Anyway, it doesn't matter. We'll sort it. I suppose it's one way of doing it though. I'm not sure how we're going to get around that. I've got a feeling that's why they left it that way. So we'll figure it. We'll be back in a bit. It is definitely time for me to upgrade my test meter. I've got the old Mega 1530, which at 1532, and I've got this one here, this Metral Easy Plus, and it's a good little meter, but it's just starting to get a bit tired now, and the batteries, I don't know, it just needs replacing. So I was looking at the new Megas, you know, the new ones you can buy, the ones with Bluetooth and Wi-Fi capability and stuff. But some people are like poo-pooing them, saying they're not worth getting and stuff. So yeah, I don't know. I do need to get one. That's one of the things that somebody was saying in the comments is, what is the ramp test? I think it was like an apprentice or something. Ramp, that's it. I find it's quite a handy facility to have a ramp test because you can, all it does is it just ramps up the leakage until eventually the RCD trips. So this one's 24. I mean, they say they trip at 30 milliamps, but actually in reality, I've never seen one that trips bang on 30 milliamps. Normally they trip about 25 milliamps, which is, this is about right. But sometimes it's a handy feature just so you can tell if you've got like an oversensitive RCD or something. I think it's a handy, and it's certainly a handy, I think it's a handy test to do whenever you do some sort of, you know, anything. If you're doing, you know, auto RCD testing, I think the ramp test is quite handy. It just gives you a bit of peace of mind that the RCD is actually, you know, it's not oversensitive. That was the other thing, this thing about, I mentioned it a couple of videos back, this thing about photographing your work and your test results and stuff. Some people were saying it's completely unnecessary. I mean, look, it's, again, you know, look, it's each to their own, you know, it's, you know, you don't have to do it. You can just submit a certificate without, you know, without showing photographs. You don't have to, I just think it's a good thing to do, that's all. All right, we're more or less done. I'll walk through what we've done. Well, to start with, those 3 sockets down there, they're in now, that's done. That pendant up there, that's moved. I've left the knockouts, because obviously where we've had to move stuff, I leave them in a little box, and then it's just up to them if they want to use it to, you know, refill and then patch up, they can. Same with up here, so we put a downlight in there in the end, but there's still a hole where we had to go across a joist. So I just leave the knockouts in a bag, in a little box there, and then it's just up to them if they want to use it. They've got choice then. More often than not, they just end up putting a bit of bonding over it. But what else have we got? Oh yeah, this is in now. Fucking hit a joist. Went to put a double back box in. Right there, hit a joist. That was at 1200, so I had to put it a little bit higher. But it's in, it's done. And then there's just the little light beacon thing and the fuse spur that controls all of it. And then on the inside is just that little pull cord thing. And then the reset button's just there. So it's pretty straightforward. These actually have got, because you see these in like hospitals and places like that, and you always wonder how hard have you got to pull on them. But there is actually, you've got to put a fair bit of, to make it sound, there's actually, you've got to give it a fair bit of welly to get them to, you know, it's not, you can do that and it won't, then it sets it off. I still find it laughable. You set it off, but, you know, I mean, obviously this is only just outside, but you can reset it from here. So, you know, if Betty Jones is on there and she's got into a bit of distress or something and she yanks the cord, you can just reset it from, you know, out here, which seems a bit silly. Surely you'd want to, you know, the only reset button should be this one here. But anyhow, that pendant's moved. Sorry, you've got a bit of flicker now, but that fan heater switch is on now, and yeah. And then under there is just the spurs for the kitchen sockets up above, and the spur for the water heater. Yes, so for everybody who's wondering, Dave is now back. There was a guy who was, there's a story behind this, there was a guy who was due to, the guy, in fact, you saw him in the previous content, but for various reasons, mainly just, it was just travel. It was just the travel distance, it just wasn't going to be, it wasn't going to be economical for him to come in. It was just too much of a distance. I think he lived out in like Billericay or somewhere, and to leave London, you leave London at 5 o'clock. I mean, if you're driving to Billericay or somewhere, Christ, it'll take you 3 hours to get home in heavy traffic. So that didn't work out. But Dave actually rung me up a couple of weeks back, and to be fair to him, my understanding is the job which he left to go and do didn't work out for whatever reason. I haven't really pried into it, to be honest. But his job didn't work out. So to be honest, he was man enough that he did ring me up and, you know, swallow his pride, and he did actually ask for his job back. So to be fair to him, I do give him some credit for that. I mean, all right, he's a bit of a dick maybe for doing what he did, but yeah, it's done. It's not the end of the world. The way I look at it, he's 24. You know, we all make mistakes at that age. All right, he's an adult, but I mean, he's 24, you know. I know when I was 24, if there was a contest for who had the biggest dick on his forehead, I'd have won it, hands down. Now, how much am I going to be stung for this? 40 quid. Not too bad. That's almost cheap. Right. Anyway, we're off home. I'm off home now, so I will catch you in a week's time.